also here. Some of her family is in attendance here for the first time in a long time. So if you are here, hello to you, and we hope you enjoy your night. Aaron Statler coming off of turn number 4. On the backstretch, the 26 of Ryan Lynn, again, series director of the Laurel Highland Sprint Series. Behind him, halfway down the straight, 98 of Croy Bazum. Black and green car on the backstretch, the 19 of Cruz Kepner. RaceSaver champ. Car number 21C, Jarrett Cavallette, a Pennsylvania State Trooper out of Hollidaysburg.
Sprint guys on the track, I need you to move and check your transponder locations. They need to be further towards the track. The track is super wet tonight. I need them as close to the track as possible to get detections. A lot of you have them too far up on the car. They have to be within 2 feet of the track.
All right, and with that, that completes hot laps for the IMCA RaceSaver sprints here at Hagerstown. So we're going to turn the mic back over to Buddy Long for our semi-late hot laps.
All right, checkered out on the simulate warm-up action. Steve Kent quickest in that 1C machine.
double check your transponders when you get back to your pits. Make sure they're facing down towards the track and as close to the track as you can possibly get. I had no transponder hits for the 91 and the 23.
All right, simulate drivers for time trials. We need you to the staging area. Simulate drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. All right, pure stock warm-ups, wrap it up. Simulate drivers for your qualifying. We need you to the staging area. Simulate drivers for your qualifying to the staging area, please.
All right, pure stock drivers, just double check your mounting locations. I had all of you hit. I just had a few of you that need to check your mounting location, 62 particularly. Make sure that it's facing down towards the track. Thank you.
Well, race fans, as we get set for the beginning of tonight's racing activities, if you could please rise for our invocation to be followed by our national anthem. Well, race fans, this past week, heaven received another angel. The racing family lost a very special member with the loss of Paige Grove. And while I personally didn't have the honor of meeting Paige, the past 24 hours have proven I wish I had. Hearing the testimonials and compliments regarding this amazing young woman has brought me to the realization that I missed out on meeting a wonderful person. Paige was a great friend to the Bone Break, Cronice, and Stover families. And while she touched the lives of so many in our sport, Paige took it one step further, sharing wonderful memories through the lens of a camera, forever etching lasting memories of which many in our sport will forever remember. Tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway, we dedicate our races to the memory of Paige Grove. And we please ask for a moment of silence in her memory. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us to be together as racing friends and family. But we do come to you tonight with very heavy hearts in the loss of Paige Grove, a wonderful person I didn't even get to know, but it didn't take long for me to find out that she put her touch on many people, not only here at Hagerstown and other racetracks, but in life in general. As we come to you with those heavy hearts tonight, we ask you to please embrace Paige's mom and dad and all the members of her family. Please protect them, keep them safe, and surround them with family and friends that will hopefully help them through the most trying time of their life. We thank them for being here tonight, and we thank them for giving us Paige to provide so many wonderful memories to so many people in the racing industry and, as I mentioned, life in general. Tonight as we race, we know that the Bone Break, Stover families, and also the Cronices are racing with heavy hearts, but they're going to be racing with one thing in mind. No matter where they finish, from this point on, they'll always be racing for Paige. We ask you to keep those drivers and all of our drivers and crew members safe tonight as they put on a wonderful show as they always do. Please protect them in their journeys around this racetrack and protect our officials as they do the jobs they do as well. We also ask you for help in remembering our military who sacrificed so very much to help us to be here tonight, not only to mourn Paige and remember her and celebrate her life, but also to enjoy the sport that we love so very much. And we ask you, please, as we leave tonight, keep us safe on our journey home and afford us the opportunity to be back here once again next weekend to once again be with our racing friends and family. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Four faces, Alan Brannon, Jason Giesemann, Steve Kent, and Brian Kearns. 3 of those 4 drivers back on hand tonight to see if they can be the first repeat performer here at Hagerstown this year. That first one, which is Giesemann, very successful at other tracks as well as Hagerstown. Quite a bit of wins in different speedways this year. The 81 out of Annville, Pennsylvania takes to the Speedway. As they head off at turn number 4, we get set for the first green flag of night in qualifying action. Mentioned Tyler Fisher, or actually he will be out in the pure stocks coming up in just a few moments in simulate action right now. Giesemann does sit a little bit further down. Actually, he has not been here for every event, but when he has, he makes his mark. As he works his way off at turn number 3 and 4, checkered flag about to come out for our first of 11 drivers in simulate action here tonight. And Giesemann's lap is going to be a 22.343. To kick things off. 25 at Jeremy Mills at Berkeley Springs, West Virginia will be our second driver out in simulate action here tonight. 65 at Dylan Wilson in Cassville, Pennsylvania, scheduled to be third. Dylan has already had a rough beginning of the season. A lot of damage done to his car a few weeks ago in a wreck here. He put it all back together and he has been stout as ever, as he will be on the track in a moment as Mills in the 25 takes the green flag. All right, and what we are doing now is what we normally do. As soon as that car takes the green flag, heads off into 1 and 2, the next one heads out. So the 65 of Dylan Wilson makes his way out onto the track as a 25 of Mills makes his way back. And for Jeremy, it's going to be a 26.558, which will have him second on the board right now in or simulate qualifying. 65, Dylan Wilson, Cassville, Pennsylvania, once again back on track. Still looking for that first victory, and if there's anybody tonight, he's one of them that can continue that string of a variety of different winners. 4-time feature winner in 2024 as he comes back across the stripe, and he'll go tops on the board. 22.270 for Dylan Wilson. 1C of Steve Kent. He picked up the victory in pure stock race number 3 of the 2025 season. Now on track getting the green flag. Ken working back to the stripe. Checkered is out for him, and he'll be tops on the board right now. Steve Kent, 21.623. And good to see this young man back out. 88Z Isaiah Miller out of Greencastle, PA. Been trying to get everything put together. And the young driver had a great rookie season 2 years ago. The sophomore year was not good. The jinx kind of came out, and Isaiah still looking for his first career victory. But good to see the 88Z back on track as he works it off at turn number 4. Checkered is out for his first run here at Hagerstown this year. And Miller will be fourth at 22.440. As a 22 of Jamie Swank out of Somerset, Pennsylvania now takes to the track for the green flag. 3D of Shane McQuaid out of Sykesville, Maryland, also exiting the staging lane as he gets set for his one-lap qualifying run. Swank in the 22 off at turn number 4. Checkered is out, and Jamie will end up being number 5 on the board. 22.486 will be his time. 3D of Shane McQuaid, Sykesville, Maryland. As he's on the track right now, number 4 in our semi-late point standings for the 2025 season. And the most recent semi-late winner, the 83 of Brian Kearns out of Cross Junction, Virginia, puts his car on the track likewise. Strong runs for McQuaid this year as he brings that 3D back to the stripe. And for Shane, right now, that's going to be number 6 at 22.706 seconds. So right now, Steve Kent, Dylan Wilson, Jason Geesom, and Isaiah Miller, and Jamie Swank are the top 5. Again, there are redraws coming up for the semi-late Spear Stocks and Late Model Sportsmen. That's going to be part of the intermission show. To be followed by the kids' bike races. As 83, Kearns makes it back to the stripe. And he'll go number 2, 21.772. All right, B1 and Nick Bechtel out of Martinsburg, Pennsylvania. He'll be next on track. A few drivers left to go here in our semi-late qualifying. IMCA RaceSaver Sprint Car drivers, heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. IMCA RaceSaver Sprint drivers for heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Bechtel brings that one machine back to the stripe, and for Nick, going to be at 23.081. Right now, that's going to have Nick in the 8th position. As a 30 of Brady Neff out of Hagerstown makes his way onto the track. Just a couple drivers left to go in qualifying. Again, IMCA RaceSaver Sprint Car drivers, heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. So right now, Steve Kent, Brian Kearns, Dylan Wilson, the top 3 as they come back to the stripe for the 30 of Brady Neff to see where he's going to wind up in his qualifying tonight. Right now, he's 8th on the board. And for Brady, that's going to be a 22.956. And our final driver in semi-late qualifying, the 48, being powered by Tony Hughley out of Frederick, Maryland. All right, final driver, final lap as Steve Kent tries to hold court in the number 1 spot. Hughley brings the 48 back to the stripe. Tony will be 10th on the board, 23.771. So Steve Kent will have the opportunity to roll that dice here on the front straightaway a little bit later on this evening.
Dylan Schatzer, in that 6th spot. He's got 4 wins, bringing up the last row. The 6 of Caleb Harris and the J9 of Gerald Harris. Again, 8 laps of distance. 5 will transfer top 3 to the redraw. IMCA RaceSaver sprints were green off of turn number 4. Weaver and Kepner drag race down the front stretch. Weaver leads off at turn number 2, but Kepner looks to the inside on the back stretch. He's going to try something different through turns 3 and 4. Dodson, car number 20, to the outside. Works his way, well, not quite yet, as he battles with Malaire down the front stretch. Side-by-side battle for 3rd there down the back stretch. Meanwhile, the 4 of Weaver leads over Kepner by just about 3 car lengths. Dodson and Malaire swapping that 3rd position. Dylan Schatzer, car number 75, ducks underneath Darren Bullock off of turn number 4. Casey Weaver leading by 0.6 seconds over the 19 of Cruz Kepner. Mike Malaire, Doug Dodson, and Dylan Schatzer, top 5 qualifying so far. Kepner closing in on Weaver's lead just a bit into turn number 3. About a half second separates your 2 front runners. 3 laps to go in heat race number 1. Weaver already a winner this season at Winchester in car number 4W. 2 laps to go for Casey Weaver over the 19 of Cruz Kepner. Weaver sliding up high off of turn number 4. Kepner closes in just a bit with 1 lap to go. Cruz is now in striking distance. Car number 19 looks to the inside as Weaver slides up the track. Battle for the lead down the backstretch. We'll see what this has in store. Weaver able to maintain that line, picking up the win in heat race number 1, Casey Weaver. Aaron Statler, Zach Rhodes, row number 1, Braden Varner, Reed Thompson, row 2. Donnie Hendershot, John Scarborough, row 4, Matt Mullins, Jarrett Cavallette in the last row. Again, 8 laps the distance, 5 will qualify, top 3 to the redraw. Aaron Statler, Zach Rhodes, bring him around turns 3 and 4. We are green in heat race number 2. Aaron out to the early lead as they drag race down the front stretch. Side-by-side battle for 3rd. R6 of Reed Thompson gets in front of the 5 of Braden Varner. Here comes the 21C of Jarrett Cavallette, having started in that last position, already picked up 2 spots. Statler leading and extending her lead over the 25 of Zach Rhodes. Here comes Scarborough to the inside of Braden Varner on the backstretch into turn number 3, moves Scarborough into 3rd. Statler continues to extend her lead by over 1.5 seconds to the 25S of Zach Rhodes. John Scarborough 3rd. Braden Varner in 4th, and there's a battle for the 5th and final transfer spot off of turn number 4. Reed Thompson, Jarrett Cavallette down the front stretch, again battling for that last transfer spot. Cavallette looks to the inside off of turn number 2. We're halfway through heat race number 2. 4 laps down, 4 laps remain as that battle for 5th continues. Jarrett just not able to get around the R6 of Reed Thompson, but now Thompson slides up the track and the 21C of Jarrett Cavallette closes in. He looks to the inside into turns 3 and 4, side by side for that 5th and final transfer. Cavallette slides up in front and takes that spot away. Meanwhile, the 61 of Scarborough closing in on Zach Rhodes, but Aaron Statler in a league of her own, 2.7 seconds ahead of 2nd place. Scarborough looks to the inside, not quite yet, as we just have 2 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Scarborough now ducks to the inside of Zach Rhodes, not able to pull that off yet. We'll keep an eye on those 2 as Aaron a straightaway ahead of the rest of the field. White flag this time by for your leader, Aaron Statler, as 2nd and 3rd place drivers continue their battle off of turn 4 and down the front stretch. Scarborough looks to the inside, battle for 2nd. Scarborough takes that spot away. Zach Rhodes trying to come back to the inside, not letting Scarborough out of his sights, but coming out of turn number 4, your leader picking up her win here at Hagerstown, Aaron Statler. We have one more heat race after this one. Tyler Shell, Ken Duke Jr. bringing him to the green. We are green in heat race number 3. Call was called back on the
leader starts the
67
race.
of Ken Duke
67, leader
Jr.
starts the race.
He was a little too excited to get that race started, according to scorers and the flagman. Tyler Schell, Ken Duke Jr. must be side by side. The middle of 3 and 4 there. Green is out in heat race number 3. Looks like Duke had a nose on him going into turns 1 and 2. We have some cars upside down.
Red, red, red. Let's stop on the outside. You guys can coast around here to the front stretch if you want.
Drivers up in turn
Be on the outside.
1.
Outside, please.
Upside down and back upright. Red out on the Speedway. All right, word from the accident scene. Both drivers seem to be okay. I think we've identified the drivers now as the J2 of John Smith out of Brightwood, Virginia, and the 1J of Reese Radabal out of Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania. We're glad those drivers are okay.
All right, well, hopefully third time's a charm in this race.
Lights out on the Speedway. We're gonna go green this time. With only 6 cars on the Speedway, only 1 is not gonna be transferring into tonight's A main through this heat race as 5 cars transfer. Tyler Schell, Ken Duke Jr., side-by-side start. 22K of Mike Kohler advancing a position right on that start. He battles with the 85 of Schell. Meanwhile, out front, the 67 of Ken Duke Jr. Mike Kohler taking that second spot. Here comes a 97 of Kenny Hefner from the last row into third. Tyler Schell tries to battle back in the 4th position. 98 of Croy Bazem looks underneath the 85 of Tyler Schell. Can't pull that off. Meanwhile, the 67 of Ken Duke Jr. continues to lead through turns 3 and 4. We have made it to lap number 2 in heat race number 3. Ken Duke Jr. over the 22K of Mike Kohler, the 97 of Kenny Hefner. Drivers evenly spaced throughout the field. Duke continues to lead over Kohler and Hefner. 47 of Ben Miklos, just 1 spot outside of transferring. 4 laps down, 4 to go. Ken Duke Jr., 2-time winner here at Hagerstown, comes around for the white flag here in heat race number 3. Coming around around turn 4 for the final time to pick up the heat race win. Car number 67, that is Ken Duke Jr.
Drivers, green flag this time around. Green flag this time around. 7, you start the race anytime after the pole in 3 and 4.
Lights out on the speedway. Drew Young, Colton Hendershot, row number 1. Rory Janney, Colby Weaver, row 2. Fred Arnold, Kenny Loreno, row 3. Ryan Lynn bringing up the tail. Last race, heat race for the IMCA RaceSaver sprints. We're green off of turn number 4. 7 of Drew Young out front into turn number 1. Close 3-way battle there between the top 3. 36 of Kenny Loreno into 4th. Drew Young will lead lap number 1. Young leads over the 461 of Colton Hendershot, followed by the 5W of Colby Weaver. Battle for the 5th and final transfer spot, heating up between the 88 of Fred Arnold and the 26 of Ryan Lynn. Right now, Arnold maintaining that 5th and final transfer spot. Drew Young leading by a second over the 461 of Colton Hendershot. Young extending his lead over the 461 of Colton Hendershot. Halfway, 4 laps down in heat race number 4. That 5th and final transfer spot still in contention between the 88 of Fred Arnold and the 26 of Ryan Lynn. Meanwhile, Drew Young extending his lead over the 461 of Hendershot. 2 laps to go. Drew Young 2.5 seconds ahead of the 461 of Colton Hendershot. White flag is out. Coming around turns 4 for the final time, picking up the victory in heat race number 4. That's the 7 of Drew Young. Drew Young by 3-second victory over the 461.
Stout 29 car field of late model Sportsman drivers, 8 laps, top 6 to qualify the rest of the LCQ as we get set for late model Sportsman qualifying tonight here at Hagerstown. 3 wide as Bard and Lear try to swallow up Jimmy McBeebe. He defends one of them off down to the bottom side. Going to be Lear grabbing the lead on the high side. DJ Myers also going top shelf. Now Bard down to the bottom side. He uses the low side momentum. He and Myers side by side in the battle for second. Zook now up to 4th in that 28Z. It'll be Cody Lear, though, leading lap number 1. Myers wrestles at number 2 spot away. Now going to be Zook going to the outside. He'll get around Bard and now put the heat right on the rear deck lid of the DJ Myers machine. Bard back in 4th. Going to be Palmer in 5th. Right now the 14 of Cody Braden. He's in that transfer spot as they come back for lap number 2. Late model Sportsman, heat race number 2. You can make your way to the staging area. A lot of good dicing for spots early in these first 2.5 laps. Cody Lear still with a commanding lead over TJ Myers. Ryan Zook back in third. Brandon Bard, Scott Palmer, Cody Breeden. They're single file right now. They are the top 6 as they work it back for lap number 3. Garmin and the 37 of Bone Break. He's trying to find his way into a transfer spot tonight, and that's the way it can be at Hagerstown. 1 week DJ Myers was a winner last year. The next week he's in the LCQ. Right now for Bone Break, that looks like that may be the possibility as they come back for halfway here in heat race number 1. Breeden trying to get off the transfer bubble. He does have some breathing room over Jackson Garmin as he puts the pressure on Scott Palmer down the backstretch. Cody Lear brings us back. Lap number 5 on the board of the 8 that make up the first of 3 late model Sportsman qualifiers tonight. All the while, Lear's lead is shrinking a little bit. Still about 7 or 8 car lengths as Myers and Zook are trying to chase him down. 2 laps to go here in qualifier number 1. Still the 94 of Brandon Bard in the 4th position. 5th is Palmer. 6th going to Breeden. Garmin's broken away from Bone Break. And now hoping that he can catch up to Breeden. He's only a few car lengths behind that battle for the final transfer spot. White flag in the air for Cody Lear, this time off turn 4. Final lap for the Manchester, Maryland driver. It doesn't matter. The name is Lear. It's still another one. Cody right up front right now. And as it looked at one point 2 laps ago as Myers and Zook were closing, Lear stretched and flexed that muscle, and Cody Lear charges to the heat race victory in qualifier number 1. TJ Myers will be 2nd. Ryan Zook will wind up 3rd. Brandon Bard, Scott Palmer, and Cody Breeden will be the 6 drivers transferring into tonight's 20-lap late model Sportsman main event. Well, no expected rain, but guess what? Mother Nature's been enjoying some racing early tonight, so she'd like to be a little bit of a participant. So right now in a hold as we wait to see what happens with this little bit that's going by us right now.
Drivers, go ahead and pull off the track, pull off the track. We've got some showers of rain moving through.
It's on the outside of row number 1, 91 of Charlie Schaefer. And the B2, Brian Booz, back in row number 2 as we get set to go. Danny Atherton, Jeremy Pilkerdam, they round out the 6 for the moment that are in there. 3 others behind them looking to get in via the heat race. Green flag back in the air. It'll be Warrenfeld's trying to hug that bottom guardrail. Car washes up, and that opens the door. Snook goes to the inside, grabs that lead down the back straightaway. 91 is Schaefer right there in third. Here comes Booze to the inside. Pilkington likewise to the number 8 machine. Everybody getting racy after that track got dialed back in. Those 5 machines tear off into turn number 1 and 2. The battle is for the transfer spot. Danny Atherton, Jimmy Jesmer Jr. Right now they are battling hard for that 6th and final position. But once in front, Snook sneaking away. 2 to go this time by. Warrenfeld's in second, Schaefer, Pilkington, Booze, and for the moment, Danny Atherton. They are the top 6. That would make it in as a final lap and a half ticks off. Pilkington climbing from the back of the field likewise. Looks to the inside of Schaefer. Not there. Falls back behind that rear deck lid in fourth as they take the white flag this time by. Final lap, top 6 pretty well secure. Pilkington still trying to climb the ladder. He gets to the inside of Schaefer off of turn number 2. That puts him up into third. But all the while, Lane Snook from the back to the front. Snook takes the victory in qualifier number 2. Austin Warrenfeld, Jeremy Pilkington, Charlie Schaefer, Brian Booze, and Danny Atherton. They'll be the 6 that transfer into tonight's 20-lap main event. 9 drivers set to take the green. We have 6 that answer the bell. So right now these 6 would transfer into tonight's late model Sportsman main event. Jeff King, the 24K. Mason Booze and that B2X on the outside. The 000 Matt Naylor and the 00 Harry Scheib, the 2 drivers that did not make it out as we get the green flag in our final 8-lap qualifier of the night. King has been stout this year. That 24K flexes a muscle early. Cable up into second spot. Booze back to third. 87X of Irvin, their single file fourth as they work their way through 3 and 4 for lap number 1. Pure Stocks, heat race number 1. Pure Stock drivers, heat race number 1 to the station area, please. Two laps in the books right now. Going to be Jeff King still in control, and Mason Booze slow spin in turn number 2. Cronice has to spin to avoid contact. He was side by side with Mike Steck. Somebody had to give, and it had to be Cronice had to spin without hitting the Booze machines. 0 Mike Steck, Booze, and then the 5.56 of Cronice as we get set to get back to green. All right, green is out, 2x2 racing. The front 4 spots going to be King grabbing that lead. He'll wash up just a little bit. Cable sees the opening. Down to the inside he goes, and we're dead even down the back straightaway. Drag race is on. Booze back up to third. Irvin in fourth as the leaders make their way off turn number 4. 3 will be complete. King holds on to that number 1 spot. Cable dropping back into second. This time King working up in that cushion a little bit as he holds a 2-car length advantage. Cable in second spot. Another 6 to 7 back to Booze. Then Irvin, Steck, and Cronice as they come back for halfway. King bobbles a little in 3 and 4. But takes across flags as the leader here in this final late model Sportsman qualifier. Back for lap 5. Jeff King has had some trouble with those corners, and Ray Cable finds a way to take advantage of it off of turn number 4 moments ago. Now has a 1-car length advantage down the back straightaway. Those two remain very tight. King trying to fight back down to the inside. 2 to go this time by. And once in front, Cable stretching that lead out to that 25K machine. Good 7-8 car lengths. Mason Booze remains back there in third behind Jeff King. Eric Irvin fourth, Mike Steck, and then Eric Cronice as the white flag comes out in our final late model sportsman qualifier of the night. Working it back into 3 and 4 and looking to get himself a good starting spot. Again, there will be a redraw coming up in a bit, but Ray Cable taking the victory in our third late model sportsman qualifier tonight. Jeff King of the 24K coming up in second. Mason Booz, Eric Irvin. They'll be the top 4 tonight as Mike Steck puts a 0 in fifth and 5.56 of Eric Cronice rounding out the 6th and transfer into tonight's 20-lap late model sportsman main event.
Scheduled to go.
7 drivers were scheduled to go, so Christie does make it out, and he'll be on the tail end as we get set to go to green. 5 laps will be the distance, all drivers to qualify. Ken Pierstocks, heat race number 2. Gentlemen, we need you to the station area. Green is out. Spielman from the pole, grabbing that number 1 spot. Reed in the 80s right there as well with the 42 SFL. 3 wide battle behind them. Going to be Faust to the inside. And then the 57 of Ecton, they swallow up Scott Corbin down the back straightaway. Now Corbin tries to fight back for a top 5 run as he come back for lap number 1. Reed, as we mentioned, a 2-time winner so far this year, the defending champ and current points leader. But here comes a 78 of Evan Faust. He has not had the season begin the way he's wanted. He was on a tear last year, winning a ton of races here at the Speedway. And right now putting the pressure on Keith Reed, who also puts the pressure on Spielman, who swung wide. And that opens the door for Reed down bottom. Faust right on that rear bumper of Reed. As the leaders head off at turn number 2, going to be Keith Reed grabbing the lead. Here comes Faust to the bottom side. A ton of momentum on that bottom. And the top 3 nose to tail, side by side as they work it back at 3 and 4. Faust is trying to find some room inside the guardrail, I believe. Almost a 3-wide battle as they come back to the stripe. Spielman working well in the high groove. Reed in the middle and Faust trying to dig down bottom and grab the lead. They'll be 3 wide again down the back straightaway. Reed at the point for the moment. And finally clear the 78 and trying to tuck that number 8 machine right down to the guardrail and cut off that 78. As they work their way back, white flag will be in the air. Reed, Faust, and Spielman. Very tight top 3. 42 SFL back and forth. Then the 57 of Ecton, the top 5. Reed with about a quarter of a car length advantage. Evan Faust has been all over him, haunting him as the checkered about to come out. Reed in the middle groove. Faust about a half a car length higher. Coming back to the stripe, drag races on. It's going to be Keith Reed coming away with the first pure stock heat race win. 78 of Evan Faust will wind up second. The 11 of James Spielman third. 57 of Bill Ecton Jr. and the 42 of Andrew Seffel. They'll be the top 5. 5 laps again the distance tonight. The Pure Stocks will wrap things up with a 15-lap feature event. After this, coming up next, the LCQs for the IMCA RaceSaver Sprints and our late model sportsmen to put the finishing touches on their featured fields. Beavers in the 62, the Hedgeville, West Virginia driver. Very strong runs all season long. Still looking for that first victory. And he's got a tough competitor beside him. That is going to be the 17L of Randy Lindenberg as they take the green flag in our final Pure Stock qualifier. All right, Beavers has that lead. Lindenberg putting the pressure on early, trying to dig his way down to the bottom side and grab that lead. He'll draw about a half a car length advantage. Here comes the 31 of Yonker with Reed in the 8B right back there in 4th position. Beavers up high, going to be Lindenberg down low. Can't keep the car to the bottom, and Beavers will get lap number 1. Lindenberg holding second, but Yonker very strong down to the bottom side. He'll hold on to third. It's going to be Blake Reed. And then the 32, Robert Wilson rounding out the top 5 as 2 of our 5 laps complete this time by. Everybody single file that time by. Beavers with about a 2-car length advantage. He works up high on the racetrack. Lindenberg digs down low, gets great momentum off of turn 2. And a mirror image of a couple laps ago. Drew about a half a car length advantage into turn number 3, but here comes Beavers on the outside as he tries to regain that number 1 spot. 2 laps to go and a dead heat as they come back to the line. Give it to Beavers that time by. Lindenberg still working that low side. Yonker in the 31, holding on to 3rd. Going to be Reed in 4th, and Fisher to the inside of Wilson down the back straightaway, trying to get the number 5 spot. Still side by side for the number 1 spot. Well, white flag is out for Dylan Beavers. He reassumed the number 1 spot from Randy Lindenberg. He has found a good groove, but Lindenberg working low off turn 2. And once again, tries to draw even. This time, Beavers has the advantage heading into the final set of turns in our final pure stock qualifier of the night. Checkered in the air, and as they come off turn 4, Dylan Beavers out of Edgeville, West Virginia, taking the pure stock qualifier. 17L, Randy Lindenberg will wind up in 2nd. Going to be the 31, Nathaniel Yonker, 3rd. The 8B of Blake Reed will be the top 4 in our final qualifier tonight for pure stocks.
Row 3, the 44B of Darren Bullock, alongside the 31 of Donnie Hendershot. Row 4, the 6 of, looks like the 54 of Matt Mullins, alongside the 88 of Rory Janney. And then Caleb Harris bringing up the rear. 8 laps is the distance. Green is out in the B main. Gerald Harris and Reed Thompson drag race down the front stretch. We're 3 wide there for the 5th position. The R6 of Reed Thompson beats him off at turn number 2. Reed Thompson in the lead over the J9 of Gerald Harris. Gerald Harris applying heavy pressure to the R6 of Reed Thompson. The 88 of Rory Janney into 4th around the 47 of Ben Miklos. Reed Thompson leads over the J9 of Gerald Harris, the 26 of Ryan Lynn, and the battle for the 4th and final transfer spot heats up between the 88 and the 47 of Miklos. Battle for your lead also shaping up as the J9 of Gerald Harris seems to close in between turns 1 and 2, but then Reed Thompson pulls away down the backstretch. Keep your eyes on the leader. Reed Thompson continues to lead over the J9 of Gerald Harris. Four laps to go in tonight's B main. Reed Thompson continues to lead over Gerald Harris. Ryan Lynn in 3rd. Cars getting spaced out across the track. Meanwhile, Reed Thompson extending his lead to almost 1.5 seconds over the J9 of Gerald Harris. Two laps to go for your leader, Reed Thompson. Gerald Harris able to cut into his lead just a bit. White flag is out in tonight's B main. Gerald Harris continues to lead him into turn 1. He prefers the high side. Meanwhile, Gerald Harris trying the low side, but he slides up, and Reed Thompson maintains his strong lead down the backstretch. Reed Thompson coming through turns 3 and 4. Gerald Harris tries to close in on the turns once again, but picking up tonight's win in the B main is the R6 of Reed Thompson over the J9 of Gerald Harris. Again, picking up the victory, the R6 of Reed Thompson over the J9 of Gerald Harris in 3rd.
Where's your Giesemann shirt tonight? Where's your Giesemann shirt tonight?
No, I didn't wear it tonight.
Hey, strong run tonight. But what about this class? 4 races, 4 faces. You going to be the first repeat man?
I hope so, man. I tried some different tires tonight, so we'll see what it does.
All right, well, that's the magic dice that Josh is going to give you, and this will determine our invert for tonight's 15 laps. Semi-late main event, Steve Kent, the 1C. He picked up a victory earlier this year. Rolling, rolling, roll, there it is. Great job, Steve Kent, number 1. And that's where he's going to start tonight in our semi-late main event. Congratulations and good luck.
All right, thank you.
You little fellas there, you want to come down and roll the dice for our drivers? Would you like to? No? Me? Who? Me? Come on down. Uncle Josh will help him. I know it's a heavy dice. Well, then you can blame Walter. That was Walter's idea. Look out, Josh, you're going to get run over by a 4-year-old. Maybe I am too. Keep going, keep going. We'll see you next lap. If that little kid makes a lap, I'm going to give her $10. All right, who we got next? Cody Lear. Cody, it is good to see you running that well. That car looked fantastic tonight.
Yeah, we're on point tonight. We did a lot of work over the winter on it, new shock package, so we're just third time out trying to figure it out a little bit.
You came out of the blocks quick in the heat race, and then here came DJ, here came Ryan Zook a little bit. They closed the gap, but then a couple laps left to go. It looked like you flexed that muscle and stretched it right back out.
Yeah, our heat was loaded for sure, but I slowed myself down and wanted to just to keep the car under me and keep it straight. So it was my fault more than anything, but the car was definitely on point tonight.
All right, let's keep that good fortunes going. Did they give up? Oh, okay. What we're going to do, it's a heavy dice. Hell, I can't even roll it. So we're going to have one young fan see if he can roll the dice for you and see if we can hold on to that number 1 spot. Whenever you're ready, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Down it goes. 2 isn't bad.
I'll take it too.
All right, give it up for Cody Lear. He'll start second. He race winner tonight. Driver out of Manchester, Maryland. Great job. All right. He had pneumonia. I think he's okay now. Is that knee okay? I guess it is. As I'm trying to flex mine coming down the steps. Keith Reed, our 2-time winner and current point leader, defending champion. You trust them little fellows up there?
Let them do it.
All right. Good run tonight. That was a heck of a heat race with you, Evan, and Jake.
Well, it was the product of having a good draw. I didn't know how far Evan was back there, but glad to see him back. You know, I like the competition. You know.
Well, hopefully that says a lot about tonight's 15-lap finale.
Let's get it on.
All right, Keith, you're going to have to tell him when to go.
Go.
All right, final draw for the Pure Stocks. Keith Reed is hoping. Oh, look at that. Number 1 for Keith Reed. Hey, Keith, you going to give him any money? Huh? How much money you got in your pocket? All right, I'll pay him for getting you in the number 1 spot. All right, Keith Reed. Still going to be a tough one. Evan Faust and James Spielman made that a very, very good heat race earlier tonight. So we will see what happens in their 15-lap finale. All right, we have got quite a few bike racers. I think last year we didn't have a whole heck of a lot, but we have, this is 3 and up, right? Under three. So we have 3 participants. Okay. We don't have their names, but before they even start, folks, give it up for these 3 right here on the front straightaway. All right, so fans and little ones, moms, dads, if you're listening, we're gonna let the fans count down, 3, 2, 1, and then say go. So go ahead and say it. Fans, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, so I guess nobody needs pedals. Here we go. That's a good little battle there for the number 1 spot. And this is our 3 and under. Great job, kids. All right, our 4 to 6 age category. And we have several more. You think I can wave a green flag? It's windy, I'll just hold it up. All right, fans, join me once again. Are you ready down there? All right, let's go, fans. 3, 2, 1, go! That may not seem like a long distance, but looking from here, that is. And this is a good battle. Here we go. There's nose to tail down the front straightaway. And a bike length advantage, and our little girl goes away with it. And we still got a couple more. They can make it. Next here, it's going to be Walter, Josh, Randy, Calvin. All right, now we've got 7 to 9. It's a little bit tougher. We're clear on this end. You ready down there? All right, fans, 3, 2, 1, go! They're humping pretty good down that front straightaway. And looks like, oh, Spike may come away the winner. Willie. Yes, he does. Boy, that put that pure stock heat to shame. Got 3 different categories. Okay, fans, one final time. You ready down there? 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, we got a spill. Need a tow truck in turn 1. Tow truck turn 1, please. This guy, for keeps, he's going to have to go to tech. Walter, he's got to get to tech. There's your winner right there. And great battle for second spot. Oh, we have our youngster down there. It's okay. Going to the back end of the field. Again, 15 laps, the distance here in tonight's first feature event. Coming up next, the IMCA RaceSaver Sprint, so their 25-lapper, 20 laps for late model Sportsman's 15 for the pure stocks. We'll wrap things up tonight here at Hagerstown when we get set with the semi-lates. 2 of our winners so far set to go from the front row. Steve can way up the banking. That opens the door for a couple of others, but he's got some good momentum up there. Found something he liked, grabs the lead. Brian Kearns to second. Wilson and Giesemann, they're right there in the front 4. And here comes Isaiah Miller to the inside of Jamie Swank in the battle for 5th as they come back for lap number 1. It'll be Kent, your leader. Trouble! Contact made. Looked like maybe contact with Neff and Miller. And that sends the 88 of Miller hard into the inside retaining wall. All right, try number 2 down the back straightaway. Kent and Kearns get us set. As we mentioned, other drivers still looking for that victory. Dylan Wilson on the inside, that 65. He won 4 times last year. He's looking for that first. Green flag in the meantime. Back out for try number 2. And Kent will grab that lead here at the stripe and take him back into turn number 1 and 2. Car working up in the high line. Kearns gets a good jump and a good grab down bottom. Dylan Wilson there likewise. A little out of shape. That slowed him up. It'll be Kent leading him down into 1, make it 3 and 4 with Kearns to the bottom side. Kent will be the leader of lap number 1. Kearns in second. Wilson, Giesemann, 22 of Jamie Swank. They'll be the top 5 with the 30 of Neff. Right behind him in that number 6 position. 3D of Shane McQuaid down to the bottom side. Tony Hughley up top. And Nick Bechtel right behind him as Kent already opens up about a 10-car length advantage here at lap number 2. Kearns comfortably in the number 2 spot. He's got about 5 or 6 on Dylan Wilson. That's where the Hornets' nest may begin. Jason Giesemann right there, car length back and forth.
Now the 5 back to the 22, Jamie Swank. And then the 30 of Brady Neff. Everybody pretty much single file this time. Off turn 4 is 3 of our 15 go in the books. Steve Kent, the winner of week number 3 semi-late action here at Hagerstown. Alan Bryan and Jason Giesemann, they got off to the start with the first 2 victories of the season. And then Brian Kearns, a very emotional victory lane for him on Lucas Oil weekend. Picking up that big victory, his first of the season, as the leaders come back to complete lap number 4. No change in the running order here in the top 6 or 7. Wilson falling back into the clutches of Giesemann. Still about a car length separation between those two, as Jamie Swank trying to pedal up to those 2 machines. Only about 4 car lengths back to the number 5 spot. As we hit the 1/3 mark in tonight's semi-late main event, 5 of 15 on the board. Well, Giesemann moments ago got around the 65 of Wilson, and Jamie Swank looked like he had a good run going, but bobbled a little bit in turn 3 and 4 and lost a couple of car lengths there. That puts him back in the clutches of Brady Neff in the number 30 as Steve Kent peels it off at turn number 4. Good turn advantage for the driver of the 1C machine out of Woodsboro, Maryland. Started on the pole, wrestled that lead away from Brian Kearns early, and then has set sail for his possible 2nd victory of the season. Kearns, meanwhile, works under the 25, but Jeremy Mills off turn number 2. 81 of Giesemann buys lonesome out there in 3rd. Wilson in the 65, holding on to 4th by a few car lengths over Jamie Swank, with the 30 of Brady Neff right behind him. And that is the closest battle within the top 5. We have 8 laps complete. Well, 3rd on back, working the 25 at Jeremy Mills as Dylan Wilson tries to negotiate underneath, and that really tightens that battle up. Jamie Swank and Brady Neff are there likewise. Top 3 drivers have peeled away as Wilson tries to hold on to that number 4 position. Neff underneath, and Wilson still having trouble negotiating that 65. That creates a 3-wide battle initially down the back straightaway. Wilson still at the point, but here comes Neff working that low groove, and the 30 might get a 2 for 1. He got around the 22 of Swank, now makes contact with Wilson up high in turn 4. And it'll be Neff moving up into the number 4 position. The 22 of Swank now back in 5th. Wilson 65 in the number 6 spot as Steve Kent took the 5 to go moments ago. Lap number 11 on the board that time by. Well, keeping tabs on our leader, Steve Kent crosses the stripe, lap number 12, and he'll negotiate the Jeremy Mills machine. They have Tony Hughley to deal with before it's all said and done. 2.5 laps away from what could be the 2nd victory of the new first repeat winner of the 2025 season. Brian Kearns comfortably in 2nd, still the 81 of Giesemann holding on to 3rd, the 30 of Brady Neff, and now troubles for the 22 of Jamie Swank. Looks like some smoke from behind that machine. And a great run for Swank coming to an end as caution comes out here in the latter stages of tonight's semi-late event. So that smoke billowing from behind the car. Swank going to be able to try and get it down into the back pit area, but tough break for that driver. Started on the outside of row 3 and was involved in a pretty good battle up there from 4th on back. They'll be joined by the Crate Lake models and Pure Stocks that night here at Hagerstown. All right, set for a 2-lap dash to the finish. We're inside of 5 laps. That means we go single file on the restart. That helps Steve Kent out. He's got Brian Kearns behind him instead of beside him. And he's right behind him. Kearns right there as they take the green and head off into turn number 1 and 2. Kent working that high line. It works well. Kearns was there earlier on a restart, and looked like he was going to be able to make the dig underneath, but couldn't quite do it. And Kent grabs that spot. Couple car lengths advantage. Giesemann back there in third. Neff holding on to fourth. 65 and Dylan Wilson, top 5. White flag in the air this time by. Final lap of the 1C out of Woodsboro, Maryland. Started on the pole. He has had a perfect night so far in simulate action. And he is looking to break the string. Somebody would anyway, who's second and third. They are also winners. But on this night, the first two-time winner in simulate action this year, Steve Kent, in the 1C, taking the checkered flag. Brian Kearns, Jason Giesemann, Brady Neff, and Dylan Wilson. They will be your top 5. So again, Steve Kent, the first repeat winner in simulate action for 2025. He'll put the 1C in victory lane tonight. 83 of Brian Kearns. Receiver Sprints getting ready for their 25-lap main event, but in the meantime, give it up for Steve Kent, our winner tonight at Hagerstown. A lot of well-wishers, and you had a line of young kids standing right there, and the biggest young kid was right behind him. Hey, perfect night tonight for you, Bubba.
Yes, sir, man. Got it done. We tried something different, and it really came. The car was flying. I was on the cushion, and I don't know how far I was in front of people, but it felt good. The car was on rails pretty much, so.
Seemed like the biggest challenges was the initial start, then the next start we had to have, and then the last one, which you probably didn't want to see since you had such a big lead. But your car looked like it worked so well. You gave that bottom door in turn number 2 to Brian, but it just didn't seem like, a lot of times off turn number 2 down low, guys get a lot of momentum, but you had something working up high that said, not tonight.
Yes, sir. I know. I was just using that cushion. And it was burning up down in turns 1 and 2, but just kept it smooth, and we held on to it, man. So.
Who would you like to thank tonight, Steve?
Yes, I got to thank, SKS was primary sponsor, F&A Excavating, and Frederick Moose Lodge and Cook Realtors came on board. And all the crew, the guys that make it possible for me to have a fast car. So.
Well, definitely a great one. You become the first repeat winner. You got some very elite company. They were behind you. That was Kearns. That was Giesemann. Still don't have a shirt on, do you? Okay. That's all right. Great job, and hope to see you back here next week, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Appreciate
it. All right.
it.
Steve Kent, victory number 2, first repeat winner of the 2025 season. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very honored, and I'm sorry to say it's the honor that we have to have, but we have Paige Grove's parents here tonight. Please, please welcome them very warmly here to Hagerstown Speedway. The lady whose race we're running tonight for. It is so wonderful to have you guys here. I wish it could be under better circumstances, but your racing family is behind you 100%. I didn't know her, as I mentioned in my opening comments, but in the last 24 hours when people mentioned things about Paige, it brought a tear to my eye, and I was just heartbroken to hear about it. And the only sad thing for me is I wish I got to know her as well.
Thank you. She appreciated you guys, and she was part of your family, and she felt it. She knew it.
Well, and of course it goes without saying when things like this happen, and Linda's a big part of it because there's been so many things that have happened, tragedies, fires in row houses, different people having so many things that happen in their lives, and obviously this is a bad situation, and we feel for you so very much. But when that happens, that's when the Hagerstown Speedway comes to life. And Linda texted me on my way up the road and said, tonight, that's what we're doing. We're doing this for Paige. So the money is going to go to you guys. This is for them. All right, this is $400 that is going to you guys. A 50-50 tonight, $387. So what? $787? I can't do my math very well, but we're also going to get them to draw the winning ticket in tonight's 50-50. And the number is 346-533. 346-533. Boy, I'd like to see that number come out of your pocket right now.
I believe it's the person right before these tickets were drawn.
Well, if I had that ticket, yeah, you would have that money in a heartbeat. I know words can't express it, but again, thank you for being here because we want to be here for you. And we certainly hope that your racing family, there's a lot of them. They are grabbing you right now. You may not feel it physically, but you know inside, everybody, their hearts are bleeding for you. And if there's anything that you guys need, your racing family is with you.
Thank you for your kindness and your help. Thank you.
All righty.
Lights are out on the Speedway. 25 laps is the distance. Mike Kohler, Kenny Hefner, your front row. Zach Rhodes, Aaron Statler, row number 2. Colby Weaver, Casey Weaver in row 3. Drew Young, Mike Malaire, row 4. Row 5, Cruz Kepner, Colton Hendershot. Then Ken Duke Jr., John Scarborough, your top 12. Those were the redraw positions. We're going to go green off at turn number 4. IMCA RaceSaver sprints. Green is out. 22K of Mike Kohler out to the early lead over the 97 of Kenny Hefner. Car sliding high, the 36 of Mike Malaire tags the wall and spins. He also collects a couple other drivers.
Red.
As red flag is out here at Hagerstown
Up along the wall
Speedway.
on the front stretch.
Mike Malaire has started in that 8th
Up along the
position.
wall,
They're
up along the
probably
wall.
behind up there in turns 1 and 2.
Word from the accident scene, it is confirmed that all drivers are okay up in turn 1 and 2.
So we're going to go green next time. Mike Kohler, driver out of green for starts alongside out of Washington. Any former winners here at Hagerstown. What winners so far? Zach Rhodes in the 25S.
Aaron Statler in car number 2, also looking for their first win of 2025.
Right, drivers, green flag this time. Green flag this
Colby
time.
Weaver and Casey Weaver in row 3. Casey had picked up a win this year at Winchester. His brother Colby on the inside, currently leading the Laurel Highland Sprint Series points chase. Lights are out on the Speedway. We're going to go green. Mike Kohler, Kenny Hefner. Green flag is out. They drag race down the front stretch. Hefner to the outside, Kohler to the inside, slides up in front of Hefner. Hefner looks to the inside off of turn number 2, side by side down the backstretch. Hefner on the inside of Kohler. Your leaders continue to battle out. Kohler getting a little out of shape, but maintains the lead on the high side coming off of turn number 4. Mike Kohler will lead lap number 1. Mike Kohler over Kenny Hefner, Aaron Statler. Drew Young slides way up the track. Here comes a 25 of Zach Rhodes. Can't pull off the pass yet. Rhodes remains in 5th. Casey Weaver in 6th with his brother Colby. Behind him, Casey slides up. Colby slides even higher, but he's able to miss the wall. We're too wide off of turn 4. Meanwhile, the 97 of Kenny Hefner, just a car length separates him from the 22 of Mike Kohler. Hefner getting away from the 2 of Aaron Statler. Here comes the 7 of Drew Young. He looks to the outside of the 2 of Aaron Statler. Battle for 3rd, and Young takes that position. Young takes away 3rd on the 3rd lap. Meanwhile, Mike Kohler continues to lead over the 97 of Kenny Hefner. Mike Kohler, to my knowledge, does not have any wins with the Pennsylvania Sprint Series, perhaps with the Laurel Highland Sprint Series, but if he makes it to victory lane, we'll be able to talk with him and see Mike Kohler, driver out of Williamsport, your leader over the 97 of Hefner. Hefner really has a strong run through turns 1 and 2, as he's always able to get within a car length of Kohler in those turns. Drew Young has some distance to make up in 3rd as he sees those leaders in front of him. Colby and Casey Weaver battling it out for the 6th and 7th spot. Colby to the outside now. He secures 6th position. Meanwhile, Kenny Hefner goes to the outside of Mike Kohler, takes the lead off at turn number 2 here on lap 5. Kenny Hefner strong after making that pass. Kenny Hefner, your new leader here at lap 6. Mike Kohler off the pace. He's losing speed quickly as he goes to the top of the speedway. We'll see if he's able to keep rolling to get into the pit area, but now Kenny Hefner continues to lead and caution lights are out. Caution on the speedway here at lap 6. 6 laps down, 19 laps remain. He does have 6 wins. Behind him, the 7 of Drew Young. Drew looking for his 4th win. Green flag is back out, 19 laps to go. Strong start for your top 2, especially Drew Young. Almost hit the 97 in the back end, but did not. But close quarters there going into turn number 1. The 7 slid up the track just a bit. Now the 97 of Hefner about 4 car lengths in front. 67 of Ken Duke Jr. makes his way into 6th as he battles with the 4 of Casey Weaver. Kenny Hefner looking strong out front, extends his lead over the 7 of Drew Young. Colby Weaver sets himself up to the outside of Zach Rhodes, but decides to cut down to the inside off at turn number 4. He's going to try again in turns 1 and 2. Your leader, the 97 of Kenny Hefner, 1 1/4 seconds ahead of the 7 of Drew Young. Aaron Statler, strong run in 3rd. Colby Weaver's going to try the outside again, but then decides not enough momentum. He cuts to the inside of the 25 of Zach Rhodes as they drag race down the front stretch, and he gets right in front of Zach Rhodes and pulls off that spot. Move Colby Weaver into 4th. Kenny Hefner continues to lead. Now by 1 3/4 second over the 7 of Drew Young. Aaron Statler, Colby Weaver, and the 25 of Zach Rhodes. Here comes a 5 of Braden Varner around the outside of...
Red. Outside guardrail, outside guardrail, outside guardrail. Red, outside guardrail. Red, stop on the outside front wall here on the front stretch.
That is out here at lap number 11.
Word from the accident scene, driver is okay. That's a tricky spot for drivers. That's been the spot of the night. It's eaten a couple of cars so far. Still trying to identify the car up in turn 1. Laurel Highland Sprint Series point champ in car number 61, but right now leading the field, looking to pick up his 1st win of the season and his 2nd here at Hagerstown. Car number 97 is bringing them around to the restart. They did score 11 laps, 14 laps to go, and we are back under green. Kenny Hefner had a strong start, but the 7 of Drew Young was able to close in, but right away the 97 powers off at turn number 2, about 5 car lengths. 3-way battle between Ken Duke Jr., Braden Varner, and the 4 of Casey Weaver. That evens out. Meanwhile, Drew Young just 2 car lengths away from the 97 in turns 1 and 2. Not able to keep the car underneath him off of turn 2. Aaron Statler still in 3rd, the 5W of Colby Weaver in 4th, followed by the 25 of Zach Rhodes. But here comes the 5 of Braden Varner battling for that 5th spot off of turn number 4. Varner looks to the outside of Zach Rhodes. Again, battle for this 5th spot. Varner trying the high side through turns 1 and 2. A little marbly, but yet he's able to still maintain momentum. He's going to look maybe to the outside again. We'll see. Braden Varner just to the outside of the 25 of Zach Rhodes. Meanwhile, the 5 of Colby Wilmer and the 5 of Braden Varner pulls off that position into 5th. Meanwhile, Colby Weaver trying to set up the 2 of Aaron Statler. Whoa, the 5 of Varner slides way high. The 25 of Zach Rhodes back into 5th. 13 laps down, 12 laps to go for the 97 of Kenny Hefner. He's got just 12 laps more. We'll see if the 7 of Drew Young has anything for him. Meanwhile, battle for 5th continues. Varner to the outside of Zach Rhodes. Zach able to power in front and maintain that position. Aaron Statler still in 3rd with Colby Weaver just a car length behind. 15 laps down, 10 laps to go as Kenny Hefner still strong out front. 1.8 seconds ahead of your 2nd place driver. Aaron Statler getting heavy pressure from the 5 of Colby Weaver in turns 3 and 4. Statler smooth through the middle, and she's able to keep that position. '97 of Kenny Hefner continues to lead over the 7 of Drew Young. Same distance away from Drew Young as before, 1.8 seconds. The 5W of Colby Weaver looks to the outside of the 2 of Aaron Statler, but Aaron strong and steady in the 3rd position. Kenny Hefner extended his lead just a bit, almost to 2 seconds ahead of the 7 of Drew Young. Looks like we have a car slowing on the backstretch on the inside. We also have lap traffic coming through turns 3 and 4. Kenny Hefner continues to lead. 6 laps to go for your leader. Kenny Hefner over the 7 of Drew Young. In 3rd, the 2 of Aaron Statler with heavy pressure from the 5W of Colby Weaver, but Aaron maintaining her line. Drivers will see. 5 laps to go, 5 laps to go as your leader on the backstretch. Drew Young ever so slightly cutting into Kenny's lead, 1.6 seconds last time by. Your leader seeing lap traffic ahead in the form of Reed Thompson in turn number 2. Kenny Hefner, Drew Young, and Aaron Statler in 3rd. Aaron again maintaining that position. Here comes the 5W of Colby Weaver. Just 4 more laps to go as your leader hits lap traffic going into turn number 1. Now Drew Young closed in with lap traffic. We'll see if he's got anything left. There's 3 laps to go. Colby Weaver takes over the 3rd spot on that lap. 97 of Kenny Hefner looks to the outside of lap traffic, but lap traffic slides up in front. There's just 2 laps to go, and Drew Young is within striking distance. Drew Young looks to the inside of the leader, not able to make that pass, but he is still there. Down the back stretch, 1.5 laps to go. The 97 of Kenny Hefner sneaks inside the R6 of Reed Thompson. He puts him a lap down. Now a lap car in between him and your 2nd place driver. Your leaders again coming through turns 1 and 2. Kenny Hefner looking to pick up his 2nd win here at Hagerstown. His 7th win overall, and a caution is out on the speedway. Caution, the 5 of Braden Varner spins, and the 4 of Casey Weaver also. Caution out with just 1 lap to go. Winner for the 2025 season for all 3 IMCA RaceSaver regions here in attendance tonight. Kenny Hefner, Drew Young, Colby Weaver, Aaron Statler, Ken Duke Jr., your top 5. Single file to the cone on the front stretch. Kenny Hefner fires. He gets a jump on the rest of the field. Green is out with 1 lap to go. Cars maintain their positions through turns 1 and 2. He's coming around turn number 4. Ken Duke Jr. gets around the 2 of Aaron Stadler, but the 97 of Kenny Hefner picks up the victory here at Hagerstown over the 7 of Drew Young and the 5 of Colby Weaver. Again, Kenny Hefner wins over the 7 of Drew Young, the 5 of Colby Weaver. Race fans, again, thanks so much for joining us here at Hagerstown. If you're heading out, but we still have more features in store. He's getting encouragement to go up top. His family wants him to go up top. He's doing it. The 97 of Kenny Hefner. Yeah. All right. Hey, Kenny, congratulations. This place serves you well. You always seem to do here. It was exciting. You had him beat by like 2 seconds for most of the race, and then during traffic, he caught into you a little bit, but you look so smooth out there. Did it feel as good to you as it looked?
Yeah, I mean, I felt really good down here in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, I felt like I was really losing ground. So I was just running as hard as I could. I kind of felt like Drew might have been there, but I just ran as harder as much as I could. I kind of wanted to see lap traffic, but then I didn't. And then once I got there, and I struggled behind the 1 car, so I'm kind of glad we had them cautions. And I hate to see all them busted up race cars, though.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Good thing is everybody was okay, but turn 1 and 2 really seemed to eat up a lot of equipment. You seem to be okay. Your car owner just came back from Florida. Who would you like to thank?
Pretty much everybody that helps me out. The rest of my crew's not here tonight. They couldn't make it, but big shout out to Brokers Realty. I mean, he does a lot for me. I got Morgan Paving, PC Haynes, Brown's Automotive, Suss Racing Engines, CSI Shocks, just everybody and my whole crew. I can't thank everybody enough.
Well, talking about Brokers Realty, our spotlight driver was one of the guys that got crashed out, so you're going to also act as our Brokers Realty spotlight driver and get a picture with the fan along with all your family as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your winner, the 97 of Kenny Hefner. Back up to you, buddy.
All right, Steph, thank you so very much. Great job, Kenny Hefner, our second winner of the 5 that we'll have in the IMCA RaceSaver Sprint Series this year at Hagerstown. All right, looking for green this time. Cody Lear, he's had himself a great night, his best night so far at Hagerstown. 99 will lead him. The 23, Lane Snook, though, he's been red hot. Winning at Bedford last night, a lot of victories in Pennsylvania this year in limited late model action. Ray Cable adjusting very nicely in that late model Sportsman car. The open wheel modified Star has done very well. Right now he'll start 3rd. Here we go, 20 laps for a late model Sportsman. And on the start, Cable makes it 3 wide as they go into turn number 1 and 2. And he'll draw the lead down the back straightaway. 70J and DJ Myers, he's there likewise. Good run down the back straightaway for the Greencastle driver. Myers up high, Cable down low. Myers will be the leader of lap number 1. Cable in 2nd, Lear to 3rd. Pilkerton has brought the number 8 up into 4th. And the 23 of Snook, he is back into 5th. Pilkerton not done to the bottom side of Lear. He'll move up into 3rd. Had a tough afternoon victory over Kyle Lear a few weeks ago in the very first points race, and the Loveville, Maryland driver quickly on the move up into 3rd spot. Going to be Snook not far behind with Lear in front of him. And the 28Z of Ryan Zuck also making moves up through the field. All the while going to be DJ Myers. He has got the lead as we have got a caution off of turn number 4. Sportsman main event, new front row, DJ Myers and Ray Cable. 8 of Pilkerton, the 99 of Lear, 23 of Snook, and the 28Z of Zook. So when you have Snook and Zook, you know they're going to stay together out there because that's the way it goes. As they work their way off at turn number 4, green back in the air as we begin lap number 3. Cable and Myers get together on the front straightaway, and here comes Snook once again. Top 6 cars right there together. Everybody looking for a lane to make an advantage. Cable's got the lead. Myers into 2nd. Snook up to 3rd. going to be Lear in the number 4 spot. Pilkington dropping back into 5th. He's got Ryan Zook to deal with on his outside. As Cable brings him back for lap number 3. That was a busy restart. Ryan Zook, the driver on the move, the 28Z underneath of Cody Lear. Looked like he was trying to drift up and see if he could step on the gas and get around Lane Snook, but not to be. Pilkington and Lear side by side in the battle for the number 5 position as they come back for the 4th circuit. Cable, Myers, they're the top 2. Snook, Zook, Pilkington, and Lear. They are the top 6. Scott Palmer in the 86 also making some good strides. As the Greencastle, Pennsylvania driver started further back in the field, he's now up in the top 10 likewise. As the leaders work off at turn number 4, 5 of the 20 in the books, and Ray Cable has got the lead. Pilkington to the inside of Ryan Zook, and he'll reclaim the number 4 position. Lane Snook, though, the driver that's been on the move, as he reclaims some spots he lost initially. He's up into 3rd. Cable with about a 5 to 6 car length advantage over DJ Myers. Another 3 back to Lane Snook for 3rd. And then the gap. Jeremy Pilkington trying to reel those front 3 drivers in. Ryan Zook, Scott Palmer, Mason Booz, then Brian Booz. And again, they're side by side and together out there with the 99 of Lear fading back outside the top 10. Working lap number 8 of tonight's late model Sportsman main event, and it has been filled with some great excitement on restarts. And now the field begins to get strung out. Single file for many of the spots up through the top 10 as Cable brings them back for lap number 8. Myers remains in 2nd, Lane Snook, Jeremy Pilkington, and Ryan Zook the top 5. Scott Palmer back in 6th. Mason Booz in 7th, Brian Booz in 8th, Cody Lear in 9th, and Austin Morenfelds has now worked himself back up into the top 10. And the Boozes are working side by side down the backstretch. Mason right now still with the advantage. Brian trying to make it work on the outside as they challenge each other off at turn number 4. Everybody ahead of them is single file. That's the first side-by-side battle within the top 10. And Brian Booz will make that outside work stick, and Mason spins it in turn 1 and 2. Similar to what happened in the heat race for him, a lazy spin for the B2X car. And that brings the caution out just shy of halfway here in tonight's late model Sportsman main event. On the outside of row number 4, Austin Morenfelds and Charlie Schaefer rounding out the top 10. 2 by 2 as they work back in 3 and 4. 1 lap shy of halfway in tonight's 20-lap late model Sportsman main event. Up to the gearbox they go, and back to the stripe. And again, Lane Snook, he's the one on the move, but trouble down in turn number 4. 2 drivers get crossed up. Caution, quickly back out. 34D of Kirk Baker, 1 driver involved, the other being the 27 of Lee Ziegler. And they both pull away from
Cable,
the fray.
I need a nice, consistent speed coming to the start zone. Do not slow down or I will put you back. Nice, consistent speed. Thank you, Ray. Driver's green flag. 25, nice consistent speed coming to the start zone. That is a perfect speed right there.
All right, here we go. 1 lap shy of the halfway point as Cable and Myers get set to go. Lane Snook and Jeremy Pilkington on that 2nd row. Off at turn 4, the restart underway, and here we go. And get set for the halfway point. Cable leads them off into 1 and 2. Pilkington draws a little high. That opens the door for Ryan Zook. And here comes Scott Palmer, the 86, having a strong run tonight. He's right up in there trying to get in the top 5. Lane Snook with a great dive to the inside of DJ Myers and holds that spot. That opens the door down bottom for the 28Z of Ryan Zook. But they were able to hold their positions. It'll be Snook in 2nd. Myers 3rd. Ryan Zook in 4th. Pilkington now 5th. Palmer back in 6th. And Brian Booz holding on to 7th. Myers a little crossed up off a 2, left the door open for Ryan Zook, but he currently holds on to the number 3 spot as they put lap number 11 on the field, and Cable begins to open up a lead. And a tough break for Jeremy Pilkington. The one stock drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. Well, a little bit of overzealousness on the part of a couple of drivers further back. So that will necessitate a restart here. It's the 8 of Jeremy Pilkington and the 86 of Scott Palmer who have to start further back. A lot of digging to do with 9 laps to go. Cable and Snook. Right now up front, DJ Myers, Ryan Zook, Brian Booz, Cody Lear, or I should say Charlie Schaefer as we get set to go here on lap number 12. Cable up for the challenge, but Snook trying to get down bottom. Cable's got a good bite through turn number 1 and 2 in the middle groove. He'll grab the lead again. Meanwhile, side by side, Brian Booz continues to be on the roll. The cautions have really helped him out. The B2 is challenging Ryan Zook. He'll fall back in line into 4th position. Side by side for 5th, going to be Myers and the 91 of Charlie Schaefer. Behind them, Wesley Bonebrake having to go through the LCQ. He has worked himself up into the top 10 in tonight's late model Sportsman main event, right behind DJ Myers. Jackson Garman, the 99 of Cody Lear, further back into that top 10 as they come back for lap number 12. Lap 14 about to be complete this time by Cable. Has been up to the challenge, and that Anderson Racing number 25. Tough break for DJ Myers in the 70J. Running very high up, and he'll drop it off into the pit area. Lane Snook in the 23 remains in second to Cable, followed by the 28Z of Ryan Zook. B2 of Brian Booz, 91 of Charlie Schaefer. Ageless veteran continues to be up in that top 5. Challenged by Bonebrake of the 37. That's for the number 5 spot here at the stripe with 5 laps to go. 11 of Jackson Garman quietly has had a good night up in that top 10. And right now Garman just outside the top 5. Then it's going to be Cody Breeden and Cody Lear side by side further back as the leaders come back for lap 16. And caution again on the Speedway. One car turned the opposite direction in turn number 4. And that is another yellow with just 4 circuits to go. Zook, Booz, and Bonebrake from the LCQ. They are the top 5. Well, up to the challenge again, and a big help for Ray Cable is the fact that Ryan Zook is going to work on second place, Lane Snook, as they work it back in turn number 3. He opens up a 4 or 5 car length advantage, coming back to the line. Lap number 17 on the board this time by. Snook able to hold off the efforts of Ryan Zook there, and has a couple car lengths advantage on him. Brian Booz now puts the B2 down to the inside of Ryan Zook. Falls back in line in 4th. Bonebrake holding on to 5th. Jackson Garman, good run in 6th. Charlie Schaefer, 7th. Cody Lear, Cody Breeden, Scott Palmer. They're the top 10 as they come back for 2 laps to go. Final lap and a half of racing action in tonight's late model Sportsman main event. So far this year, Kyle Lear has got 2. Jeremy Pilkington, Wes Bonebrake. They've been responsible. So with the exception of Lear's repeat, late model Sportsman's just like they were a year ago. Very competitive, many different winners. And right now, Ray Cable, who primarily has been running the modifieds, has been running limited late models and late model Sportsman lately, and as he works off at turn number 4, Ray Cable finds himself in victory lane at Hagerstown, our latest late model Sportsman feature winner. Lane Snook coming home in second. Ryan Zook in the 28Z winds up in third. Brian Booz and Wes Bonebrake will be the top 5. All right, folks, as we are coming up on the midnight hour, we do want to make sure we can push through, so we will hold Ray's interview in Late Model Sportsman's to the end of the Pure Stock main event, but we will indeed have a victory lane for him. So we will go ahead and get our 15-lap Pure Stock race underway. Been a very busy night of racing here, a big field of sprint cars, a rain delay. Of course, we want to get the kids involved with their bike races tonight, and a lot of things going on, so a normal night at Hagerstown. We're stuffing 10 pounds in the 5-pound sack, but hope you've enjoyed the racing action here at the Speedway tonight. Well, again, two winners so far in the 3 races we've run. Keith Reed, the 8, responsible for 2 victories, and Tyler Fisher, as we mentioned a few weeks ago, the most recent winner. And the newest winner we've had, Tyler went winless last year in one of the strong cars in the Pure Stock class. Dylan Beavers in that 62 on the outside of Keith Reed. Very strong runs for the Hedgeville, West Virginia driver. We get set 15 laps for the Pure Stocks. Field off into turn number 1 and 2, and again, Dylan Beavers with a very good line through the corners. Reed may have been down bottom, but they are dead even as they head down the back straightaway. 78 of Evan Faust right there, and they're streamlined, just looking to see who's going to be the better way to go around. Beavers holding strong on that outside. Drag race back to the stripe, and almost a dead heat as they come back for lap number 1. Going to be Faust trying to work that high side off of turn number 2. Beavers with some good running down the back straightaway. Half car length advantage as the 8 of Keith Reed stays right to the inside. Faust back in third, going to be Spielman holding on to 4th. And as the field comes back off of turn number 4. Spielman's 11 climbs the banking, and that will give another spot to Randy Lindenberg in the 17L. He moves up into the number 4 position. Spielman back into 5th, going to be the 57 of Ecton, then the 31 of Yonker as they come back for lap number 3. Beavers, your leader. Reed in 2nd. 78 of Faust in 3rd. Good run and momentum for Lindenberg off at turn number 2 as he draws right up to the back deck lid of Evan Faust. Top 2 of Beavers and Reed. They have distanced themselves just a little bit back here for lap number 4. Lindenberg had a good run off that 4th corner on Faust, but falls back into line. 11 of James Spielman, not far behind. He's knocking on the door in the number 5 spot. Ecton back in 6th. Then it's going to be the 31 of Nathaniel Yonker in 7th. The 8B of Blake Reed. 32 of Wilson, and then the 32 of Fisher as the leaders come back for lap 5. Fifth place up for grabs, and Bill Ecton Jr. in that 57 to the inside of Spielman. 2x2 racing for the other positions further back or further up ahead. And one driver drifting slowly off at turn number 4 with 6 laps complete here in our main event, and caution is on the Speedway. All right, field stacking up, 2x2 down the backstretch. 9 circuits to go in tonight's last feature event. And we'll see if Dylan Beavers can win that battle again. The two-time winner, Keith Reed, the point leader on his outside. Here we go. And Evan Faust shoots to the inside, 3 wide as they get to the stripe. Reed will have the lead as they go into 1 and 2, and Faust will be battling down bottom. Beavers is right there. Here comes Randy Lindenberg likewise. And then Ecton and Yonker, they're side by side. Great battling all throughout the top 10. Blake Reed is right there. Robert Wilson, Tyler Fisher. Leaders come back to the stripe. It'll be 7 on the board with Keith Reed back in the number 1 spot. Still side by side for second. Beavers a strong run on that outside, but Faust winning the horsepower battle down the back straightaway, and he'll go into second. Lindenberg will be fourth. Will Ecton Jr. in the 57, rounding out the top 5 as they work it off a turn number 4. 8, Blake Reed, then Tyler Fisher. Nathaniel Yonker, he's been dropping back little by little. And behind him, Robert Wilson, Andrew Savell in the 42 as the top 4 pretty much within a car length of each other as they work it back. And lap number 9 will go on the board this time by. Faust working over that 8 of Keith Reed, trying to see if he can find a way around the points leader and two-time winner. Lindenberg, meanwhile, with a good run off of turn number 2, draws even with Beavers down the back straightaway. In the battle for third, Ecton in the 57, not far behind in 5th, as we've got 5 laps to go here in tonight's main event. Faust continuing to chew away on that rear deck lid of Keith Reed through the corners. Beavers able to hold off the efforts of Randy Lindenberg moments ago. He's still in front of him in third. Now 3 or 4 car lengths back, the 57 of Bill Ecton Jr., 32 of Robert Wilson, slowing down the back straightaway as the leaders come back for lap number 11. Well, the battle was on for a little bit, but as the laps stay green, Keith Reed slowly beginning to inch away from the 78, the 6-time winner from a year ago, Evan Faust, as they put lap 12 on the board. Lindenberg to the inside, the Beavers this time, back to the straightaway. And it's going to be Lindenberg grabbing that 3rd spot for the moment at the line, and then Beavers with a very good line and consistent off of turn number 2. But Lindenberg's got that low side momentum. It looks like he's able to take over the 3rd spot. And just as we mentioned, Keith Reed starting to inch away. Here comes Evan Faust digging again. 2 laps to go here in tonight's Beer Stock main event. Reed now beginning to work the middle lane. Evan Faust kind of looking above him, trying to do a little probing and figure out what's the best way to get around him. They had a great battle in the heat race along with the 11 of James Spielman. And right now it's Reed and the 78 of Faust trying to figure it out. White flag in the air. They are nose to tail back at the stripe. Faust right on that rear bumper. He'll pull to the outside and see if he can make the power move in turn number 1 and 2 around the outside. Keith Reed's got him covered. Faust only has 1 set of turns to make something happen. Lindenberg 3rd, going to be Beavers in 4th, Ecton 5th, as Faust again will work that high line off turn number 3 and 4. Drag race is on, back to the stripe, and Keith Reed trying. Here they go. Who's got it? All right, our modified, we got to say that, late model Sportsman feature winner tonight. How does that sound? You've heard modified winner. How does it feel to be a late model Sportsman winner at Hagerstown?
It feels great to come up here and be fast in anything that I get in. Tonight is definitely a special win for me.
And why so?
First couple races in the late model, we struggled a little bit, and I feel like we picked it up here. And tonight, I just think I got her done.
Well, it's been impressive watching you get behind Andy's machine. I know he must have had some issues tonight. It was sad, but you guys make it confusing. I got Lane Snook, Ryan Zook, they're running together. I got two boozes out there. And if Andy was there, I'm sure you and him were going to be side by side. So you guys are making it very tough. You're making me earn my money up there. But it's really cool. I mean, people have known you for modified racing. You're one of the best in the modifieds in this area. But how tough is it to make the transition, or how much of a transition is it from the modifieds to get into a late model sports? And what are some of the things that you've got to prep yourself for in that transition process?
Really, they're very similar. The cars handle almost the same. I think late model steer a little bit easier than the mods do. The biggest difference is setup-wise. You got about 1 billion options on this and maybe 500 million options on a modified. So it's easy to put yourself out to lunch in this, but I think we got it dialed in tonight.
Well, it's one thing to win finally in a late model Sportsman after just a few scant weeks of trying, but what does it mean to beat a field like this and win at Hagerstown Speedway?
It's definitely awesome to know that I can get in the car and be fast almost right away. It's definitely a lot of work, and we're going to be back at it here shortly, but it really makes me feel good that I can be competitive.
Ray, who would you like to thank?
First off, I'd like to thank Harry Shipe and Little Harry. This is their car, everything. They funded me to be here tonight. I couldn't do it without them. Ernie D's Enterprises, Larry Royce and Septic Service, everybody that's got a hand on this car. My dad, Brian, Andy Anderson helped me out tonight. It really takes an army to do something good here, and I feel like I've got that behind me.
Well, you're a workhorse because you're still doing that modified racing too, so you're a busy man all week long and into the weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's definitely fun. Tonight, I'd like to dedicate this race to a very good friend of mine who passed away. He was definitely sitting on my shoulder tonight, yelling in my ear, telling me all the right things to do.
Well, that was your dad, wasn't it? What was it?
Yeah, not my dad,
No, I mean your dad yelling in your ear. That's what I meant.
Always. Some things never change.
Well, congratulations, Ray. We've seen you in victory lane in modifieds. I know we got more of those coming, but great job in the transition process and adapting so well to late model sportsman racing.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully we'll be back here soon.
Oh, most definitely. Ray Cable, your winner tonight in late model sportsman's here at Hagerstown Speedway. Very impressive performance over some very talented drivers. Folks, as you can tell, it was right down to the wire. It was nip and tuck. The Pure Stock's a great battle. But as you can see, the end result is another new winner in victory lane, a gentleman that found it many times a year ago, 6 as a matter of fact. The Pure Stocks got off to a rocky start this year. But what a great race, trying to find his way around the defending champion and 2-time winner this year. But in the end, the 78 of Evan Faust comes away with his first Pure Stock win. Give it up for Evan Faust. Don't hit her on the head too hard. It's not her fault. It just took you a little bit longer to get to victory lane this year.
Yeah. I mean, we got a new car out. We've been running around trying to get it going. Went to Florida, crashed. So it's been tough. We pulled Old Faithful out and figured we'd come up here and see what this red box was about. And definitely changed the race up a little bit. You know the way with Keith Reed, man, he's a great race car driver. He's really good. He was passing him, especially with the chip, and just kind of evening things out. So it was a really good time racing with him. Mad respect to him. Great race. I didn't think I was going to get him at the line there. As the laps ticked off, that was so slick down the bottom, just started carrying momentum on the outside, and probably had a little bit of advantage seeing what he was doing and where he was struggling. Yeah, that was cool. I really didn't think I was going to get there.
No, it was fun watching you pro because at one point with about 4 or 5 laps left to go, the gap was tight. Then all of a sudden it kind of looked like Keith was beginning to inch away, and then here you came again. It looked like you were doing a little probing, just trying to figure out what was the best angle to get him at.
Yeah, it was just so slick. I mean, with the red box, I was letting off way earlier than I normally do, and it was still like ice down in either 1 or 3. And so once him and Beavers pulled out in that first stretch, kind of started figuring out what I needed to do, and kept him from pulling away from me any further, and the caution came out and was able to get by Beavers. He was running really strong tonight too, and then just got trying to size Keith up, and I knew all night that was going to be a big task.
Well, the Pure Stocks have always had some great racing, some great action, even back in the heat race between you, Keith, and James Spielman, and unfortunately he had some issues tonight. That was a great heat race. It was good to see you guys doing heat races. I'd rather see that, I'm sure the fans would too, but we got to get that car count up. Looks like it's slowly coming back up a little bit, but some great competition tonight. Who would you like to thank?
Well, first and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, I put the Jesus Loves You in the middle of the season last year, and that's really turned into something bigger than I ever thought it was going to be. And just proud to wear my faith and present that, and hopefully make an impact here at the racetrack. Definitely want to say my thoughts and prayers with my Uncle Mark right now. He just had a pump put in his heart. He's waiting for a transplant. His faith is stronger than anybody I know. He just keeps saying, God's got this, and I know he does. And, we're thinking about you, Uncle Mark. We love you. My wife, all 4 of my daughters put up a lot of time in the shop away from the track. And my uncle, for sure, I mean, he funds all this and is the mastermind behind it. You know, we butt heads, but we're just pushing one another. We're just super competitive. And all my friends and family, that's just glad to be back in victory lane here.
Well, it was 6 times last year. This is the first, I'm sure. We got a long season to go. It's not going to be the last.
Yeah, we'll be here spot, you know, here and there. We're going to run around with the stock car and try to figure that out. And we got a big tire car. We're going to try to get ready eventually and come up here and maybe do a double header. And we'll see what happens.
Well, have a great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Evan Fowles checking in for his first Pure Stock victory of 2025 here at Hagerstown.